Can you hear me? No. No, no, no.
Who's that brown kid with the balls? Mexican blood, they're confused, disgust. Carried his pride like a loaded gun. Didn't look like him, still his son. Courtney called, I hung up the phone. Too busy burning out alone. Cousin buried three fools on fire. Living like gods with a death desire. Tita called me Chulito, crying through the line. Mijo, your heart's the only thing that's mine. Pack that heart, became a ghost by coastal ride.
Cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.
Hydro, the base and blood side smoke. That's exactly what I need.
What up, everybody? Here we are, the after show, but later, the only Covino and Rich after show. Official, unofficial, we may never know. But we're here, episode number 346. It's your boys D. That right there is Luis Cortez Jr. And we actually just made a mutual friend. If you want to hear about that, if you want to hear about the UFC with Conor coming back, that script getting leaked, you better stay tuned. Luis, how's your week going, man? Can you explain the fit? And then I'll go ahead and explain why I'm wearing this.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? And I guess happy 250 to America. You know, what I mean, we just celebrated the 4th of July. It was pretty good, man. Got my my T-Rex and Abe Lincoln shirt on. Got my Chargers USA shirt. Probably still smells like fireworks from this weekend, but you already know.
Hell
How was
yeah.
your weekend, bro?
Good, man. Yeah, I got this. So check it out, dog. You know me. I don't own anything that's not black. But you guys all know about my buddy Luis. Not this Luis, my other buddy Luis. And his dad hit me up, and he was like, "Mijo," he was like, "Come by the house. I have something for you." And I was like, all right. It could mean anything, Doug. You never know, especially your friend's parents. You never know. It could be anything, Doug. So I was like, all right. So I pull up and he gives me it and he's like, it was in a bag. Like it was from wherever he ordered it. He's like, don't open this until Saturday. And what up, Andrew? He was like, don't open this till Saturday. So I opened it up, Doug, and I was like, hell yeah. Now I got a fit for the 4th of July. So apparently it was too big for him. And I go, Fernando, don't ever worry about clothes. If it's ever too big, just hit me up. He goes, Mijo, I know that. And I was like, all right, cool. So that's the story behind my USA All Day shirt right here. No Rich Davis, but I actually had on my black hat before we started. And then I was like, wait, I think I have a red bucket hat. Might as well get in the spirit. So I got no dinosaurs on mine. I got no Abe Lincoln, but USA 250 right here. The after show, but later. We got Reinhardt in the house. We have Fournier in the house. And there's actually somebody who I've actually met. Dog, I probably have known virtually, I guess, Green Optimist for about as long as my daughter's been alive, and she's 10. And I was talking to him recently, and he was like, we were going back and forth little videos or messages or whatever, and nothing freaky. And he was like, hey, he goes, I think he said he had hit you up or he was about to hit you up or something. And I'm like, dog, I literally told him, I'm like, Luis is a cool ass dude, dog. Like he's fucking, that's my homie. So apparently he hit you up. Tell me about that. You don't have to give too much personal information, but how did he approach it? Was he just like, hey, or what's going on?
Nah, it's funny because as a Camino Rich fan, I think we get this a lot. He's like, yo, my name is so and so. But you might know me like, by Green Optimist. I'm like, it's funny because I don't know. I didn't know him. I seen his name. I'm like, I'm glad you said that because otherwise I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Because it's funny because my screen name is my name, but I think we've had this conversation before. People you just know like, oh, you're West from Idaho. Oh, you're so and so, right? Because a lot of us how we interact is through some kind of screen name, whether it's whatever you interact with the show. So it was cool, dude. Man, he just was hitting us up, trying to say appreciate what we're doing and appreciate him listening and just kind of tell me what he was all about, where he lives and what he does for a living, which is cool. He's a trucker, right? So we hats off to those guys. America lives on those guys, right? So he was cool, man. It was funny, and then he just gave me some insight. I guess he used to listen before, kind of on and off, and was looking to jump back in. So we appreciate the support from him.
Very political, dog. I love it. But yeah, man, Green Optimist, such a cool dude, man. And we were actually planning about. I was thinking maybe going up to where he lives, or maybe meeting at like the San Diego Zoo because he's got a son. I think his son's like 13 or 14 now. And I was like, cool, he could, because he's never been. I was like, he could take his kid, I could bring my daughter, whatever, and it could be cool, like go kick it or whatever. So we're still trying to make that happen. Like early 2027 is what's on the, but I got a few trips coming up, dog, and the pockets get a little tight. You know what? Actually, there was a poll that was ran on Covino and Rich recently, and it was like things you like about Rich Davis because everybody's always bagging on him. Dog, I have one that this dude had me rolling so hard because of how much he enjoyed it. When Covino told a joke, like, what would you rather do? This was Uncle Joe's joke from when Covino was young. What would you rather do? Kiss a monkey's ass or kiss a rabbit between the ears? And you pull out your pockets and the ears are hanging. And you go, all right, then give the rabbit a kiss between the ears. Rich thought this was the funniest thing he had ever seen. So he was even like, he called his wife in and he was like, come on, answer. Just answer. There's only one answer. Just answer. Dog, that nothing makes me love Rich more than something like that. When, dog, he just completely geeks out and becomes a dork. You know, so something I love about Rich Davis, when he loves something so much that he needs to show people right away. Like literally, when Covino was doing it, he was about to take his headphone off, and then he showed him, and then Rich was trying it, and then Rich was like, "I gotta show Sarah." He called her, and then dog, that I loved it. So, other than that, in the last week or so, anything that's standing out to you?
You know, it's funny on that specifically is like I remember that joke. I don't know, you know, obviously probably those are generational ones. I don't know who told it to me or what, but it was definitely something like whatever the pre was something that you would just didn't want to do. One night snake, monkey's ass, something that you knew it would almost guarantee you that they were gonna say, you know, the bunny between the ears, but you know, probably doing it at school. We're not supposed to, but now, bro, I guess 4th of July recap real quick. I went down to California. I saw my homies. I was able to go to the beach, and no, I wasn't there with Spot, and I didn't see him taking his sexy pictures down there. But, bro, I guess your camera's busted. 4th of July has always been like literally burning money. And I remember as a kid, maybe I didn't give a fuck, whatever. I went down there and bought some fireworks for the homies' kids down there, and I'm like, Dig, you probably remember they had that big ass box. It was called the Big Box, whatever. Like I remember that shit was like $100, $200 back in the day. Even then, we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But now it's like $300, $400, like almost five, and I'm like, I just can't fucking fathom that shit anymore. And you know, the kids were out there doing the little ones, and then by the end of the night, they were fucking falling asleep or already in like. There was still like a whole box of fireworks there, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm not letting this shit go to waste. So then all of a sudden, all the grown-ups are out there fucking just, you know, bombing each other with fireworks and shit. I had a good time, and had the pleasure of getting tattooed by one of my buddies down there. And
where is there left to tattoo you, dog? You're all sleeved up. You got your legs done. You got a nalga, I'm sure, dog. You freak, like I don't know where's left to tat you up.
It's actually like my very bottom of my butt cheek and left thigh into my knee ditch and left knee ditch. So it's like filling out that up right there. But yeah, it was painful, but it's good, man. It's some therapy and some
that's cool.
Take
man.
care of yourself stuff. You know what I mean?
That's cool. I'll go ahead and finish the recap. Don't let me forget Reinhardt's question about soccer. But yeah, man, I didn't get to do that. I didn't get tatted or nothing. But it was funny because we were at a friend's house and they were lighting fireworks, and like probably like the second one that they lit like exploded, dog. Like almost people almost died, right? And it was funny because that like set the tone for the rest of the night, dog. Because after nobody died and everybody was okay, we were all like, oh, hell yeah. You know, everybody was like, that shit was dope, you know? So then they lit another one. And then my buddy Mike was like, gay. He goes, I didn't almost die on that one. And so that like set the tone for like the rest of the night, dog. The rest of the night, we were like wanting to like see if we could, you know, if we had to jump out of the way or whatever. Which was funny because right before that happened, dog, I was sitting down and my wife came and I was like, hey, I go, do you want to sit right here? She's like, yeah. So then I gave her my seat like a gentleman, right? And then, Doug, when she almost died and not me, I was like, oh, thank goodness, right? That was almost me. So I went from a gentleman to a really selfish asshole like that, Doug. But it was fun. Good night. I had a lot of fun. You know what? A buddy of mine at work, he checks out the after show, but later. So shout out to Leo. But he's been asking me, Dog, like every week. He's like, Dog, does Luis like the World Cup? Has he been watching the World Cup? And I was like, I don't know, Doc. I don't know if we've even talked about it, but now Mexico's out, USA is out. Have you been following it? And if we've talked about it in the past, forgive me. But if you are following it, how hard are you following it? Do you have the game on in the corner right now? What's going on?
Well, I got the fever, right? It's going around. We were hosting it. We still are, I guess, but we're out. But no, I played soccer as a kid. I had the little rat tail. I think it's a way of life when you're a little paisa, when my dad was like, you're gonna play soccer. And it was never my steez. Definitely, even in high school, when those fools are gay. It was football guys and the soccer guys were the little fucking prima donna fools with the little haircuts and shit. But I definitely been catching it. My dad's always been a soccer fan. If he's here, he's chilling, even without the World Cup. That was watching some kind of game, and I'm like, bro, like how many leagues is there? Like, what's going on? But definitely when the World Cup comes around, and so I think I told you for Father's Day, I bought him a little Mexico jersey to just give him a little gift and stuff. And so he's like, you're not gonna buy USA one? I'm like, fuck that fool. I'm like, for what? I'd rather buy me like a new Charger one or something. So I was watching it. It's almost like anywhere you go, like this whole weekend it was on, wherever you were at. I'm not watching it right now, but I have been watching it, and I had a note on that. Obviously you hit that, but have you seen that Netherlands guy, bro? He's a beast.
Nah. Is he like 6'5" or something?
Yeah, that fool's like a
yeah.
big ass Shrek looking fool. That fool's crazy, bro. Like that shit makes you want to like. I'm not rooting for anybody. I don't, my horse is out of their race. But that I believe he plays for Netherlands, and their whole vibe is like Viking, and like the way they look, and they're the ones that do the boat rowing shit, and they do like the warm up, and that shit just gets me pumped up. And even I watched that fool play the other day, and that was a beast fool. Like he makes all these grown ass men look like kids when he's out there, and then he's so careless. Like I don't know if it's just his attitude or whatever. And I think I've seen videos of him. He's pretty charismatic. He's out there like walking around, just fucking around, and all of a sudden just turns the juices on, and like bam, he got a goal, right? So he's just kind of a badass, and he's paying into it right now, and he's kind of been all over social media.
He turns on the juices, Doug. I've never heard that expression. I think you kind of just made up an expression, but Norway. Okay, thanks, Leo. So okay, Leo. So there we got it straight from the horse's mouth. I know you were wondering, but you know what's funny, Doug, is that I think that's been my hardest thing, is like how you said your dad will have on a game and you're like, how many leagues are there? That's my hardest thing, is where I'm like trying to figure out like, all right, Doc, like the World Cup's easy to follow, right? Even though they have like 13 groups and 27 different brackets or whatever, to me, it's still easier to follow than freaking, than the normal leagues. What up, Andrew? Andrew Sims just got here. But so many different leagues and stuff like that's why it's like, for me, I think like I like the NBA, the NFL, right? I like UFC, right? Because all the other ones besides like one have died. So I'm like, Doug, I'm like, one thing I have to follow. I'm too dumb to follow multiple leagues, So that was what was I going to tell you about that? You said you bought I got to tell you, if I've told this story before, forgive me. I don't think I have though. So we have security that comes and checks our offices like a couple times a day, right? And Doug, do you guys have like, I don't know if it's like national, but Del Sol, like the market, it's like, they have like, it's just like a grocery store, right? Like a Mexican ass grocery store. Well, the security girl, she's coming and she's like, hey, Mr. Fitz, how are you doing today? She's like, everything going good? Everything calm around here? And it's funny because she's like, probably like 20, 22 maybe, but she reminds me of like an innocent little kid, she's like real sweet. And she's like, and I'm like, hey, she's like, are you watching the World Cup? And we're talking about it. And she's like, I'm like, yeah, but people have been wearing their jerseys to work. I go, I feel kind of left out because I don't have a Mexico jersey. And she's like, you know what? She goes, go to Del Sol, Doug. So I told you it's a grocery store, right? And I was like, she's like, yeah, like $13. She's like, they're not real, but you know, you could still sport one. And dog, I was funny because I was telling another coworker about it, and she's like, what does she mean? Like, if it's not a real one? She goes, how can you tell that they're not real? And I go, if you can buy a jersey where you can also buy papas and huevos, it's not a real jersey. And it's $13, dog. So it was just, I feel like everybody, like you said, has been having the fever. So Reinhardt said he played for a couple years in high school. Dog, when I was growing up, all the kids that played in high school, it was like the football players and like baseball players were like the people, right? And we had some basketball players or whatever, but it was like football was the biggest thing in our school. The soccer, dog, we had like a soccer team, right? Everybody that was on the soccer team was like, they were not Reinhardt's. They were like the Mino Speakies, you know? They were like the, ¿qué dice el güey? You know, like it was them. They were our entire soccer team. Even like our local community college here has a really good team. They go to the like national championship like almost every year. And, but they're different because they're like all like from Africa and shit. But when we were in high school, they were all the I mean, no sé, you know, like that was all them growing up. So it was never like the cool kids. It was always like the kids without papers were like, we're the ones playing soccer. And I'm not even being mean, Doug. Like I said the kids without papers because like my friend Shorty, Doug, after high school, he got deported. So I'm being real with some of this, you know? But yeah, man, I'm a little sad. USA's out, Mexico's out, Dog. So now I'm like, I don't know really who to cheer for. Should we have Messi? Who we keep going for Messi? I know they had that win today. Reinhardt says what? All we had at my first high school was soccer and basketball. Oh, okay. And their coaches were for Italy. That's cool. All of our coaches were from like border towns, you know? But
You know
anyway.
what's crazy?
What's up?
You're not the only one buying fucking cheap jerseys. The boys got their hands on some cheap USA jerseys. I guess if you can buy jerseys where they have papas, huevos, condoms, or Plan B, it's probably not real because I think they went to CVS and bought their $10 fucking
They
USA
did.
jerseys, I think. And it's funny because they just look like a fucking shirt. They look fake as fuck. But, you know, it's all about being in the spirit. And I guess they were
Yeah.
all about it. And I think Iowa Sam was the one who showed up with one. And it was funny.
It's
But
almost-
for the one or two times, Dick, you know, fuck it, whatever, right?
It's almost as bad as that little kid, Santi, or whoever it was, that was wearing
Yes.
the Christmas shirt for the Mexico
Right.
to fit in. That's how they look with their $10 jerseys. But you know what? Hey, you know what? I think that's what's cool too, is that a lot of people, I didn't see because I saw plenty of fake jerseys, dog, especially where I'm at. And it wasn't even like people weren't even like bagging on them. It was like, hell yeah. Like everybody was in the spirit. I think that, dog, this is like, I'm going to make the worst comparison of all time. You know, after 9/11, how everybody was like, fuck that. You know how like everybody's fighting, everybody, whatever. After 9/11, everybody's like, no, like we're Americans, right? We're Americans, USA all day. Dog, it was like during the World Cup, it was like whatever your country was, dog, you could be wearing like a Norwegian jersey, Mexico, whatever. It could be fake, it could be real. But the fact that you're just kind of in that same club of everybody watching the World Cup kind of like brought the world together again, dog. I always said the World Cup is the 9/11 of 2026. But yeah, I don't know if I have a rim shot on here.
Hey,
I don't.
Is that Rich behind you or what?
No,
This bar or what?
I borrowed this bar from Rich. It's a little, let me see if you could see back here. Very similar to where Rich was, a little different. You can't see the whole picture, but it actually has got Jordan on the wall over here behind me. So I think you might be able to see a little bit, Luis, right there. So yeah, I was very inspired by Rich's bar, so I thought I'd bring a little bit to here.
Disclaimer: Michael Jordan, not Jordan Chesmore.
Yeah, no, she's on the other wall. But yeah, man, I'm trying to see. I have Rich's rabbit ears on my notes from Uncle Joe. I have a few more.
Are we in
But
the studio again or what?
oh yeah,
I'm
Doug.
waiting for a Monday, bro.
Doug. Supposedly, when they wait. Rich is coming back on Monday, right?
They said they're unveiling it Monday.
Okay. I did watch. Did you watch the Behind the Velvet Rope where they did that?
I haven't. No, I didn't.
It was cool, dog. You know what's so funny? I don't know, dog, if it's like the fact that people go live now and don't really have like structure to their like you'll see like literally a chick like on TikTok and she's like live like
Yeah.
oh, where did I get this?
Yeah.
Marshalls. Yeah, You know how like that's the kind of content we consume these days? The fact that they were just like cleaning out the studio, dog, unplugging lights and shit. I was like right there with my Cheeto, my Captain Crunch. And I was like, dog, I could watch this shit all day. It was literally like a 2-hour Behind the Velvet Rope. And by the time they got like the couches in and Spot actually showed like the laptop to the camera of like what his vision is, dog. If they do get it to where they're thinking, it's gonna be dope because just from them putting the couches in there, it looks so cool. Way better than their little newscaster little look. Even though ours kind of looks like that right now, but it's way different, dog. Like when you're in person and you can have like an actual studio. That's what bothered me about their setup is that it was very like, tonight, esta noche, Univision, like very like proper and very like whatever. Now I feel like it's more like a podcast, which is going to be cool because they're going to be chilling. They don't have to control. They don't have to go from screen to screen and they don't have to do the things that we have to do here because we don't have a spot, we don't have a producer right here. So they can actually just kick it, have Spot do all that. I'm so glad, dog, that they finally caved in and are doing it. So hopefully Monday we can actually see that.
Yeah, and they even got like a guest spot, right? Did they show that or anything?
They did. Well, they've showed how they have they're gonna have like the brick little background in the guest spot, which is gonna be like near where Spot was sitting. But dog, to me, that's gonna be a little awkward. I feel like they're gonna have them near the couches and maybe rearrange it or whatever when they do have a guest, because how are you going to have you guys sitting on the couches and then put the guest in the closet, basically? Because that's like where it is. It's like in Rich's closet and they like decorated the background. So how are they going to be like, oh, we have Tom Brady right here and Tom Brady's over there hitting his head on a fucking hanger, like to me, dog, it's just like, obviously they took out the hangers, but I'm just saying, like, how are they going to be them right here in like the main part and then have a guest like over there in the closet? Like, to me, if they can bring them out into the rest of the world with everybody, that'll be ideal. Fournier says it's giving Wayne's World vibes. I like it. I'm liking it. So I would love to jump on that and joke about it being Wayne's Worldy. But I really do like it. The only thing that would make it really Wayne's Worldy is after Covino talks, if he, puts his hair behind his ears like Wayne. But I'm liking it. So we shall see on Monday if it actually comes to fruition. And we won't know until then. By next Tuesday's show, episode number 347, we'll be able to let you guys know. I do have a question that they haven't really talked about, but they've talked about. So they filled in for Dan Patrick over the last few days, right? Today, or was it today or yesterday? I don't remember. They filled in for Dan Patrick, and then they had over like the 4th of July weekend, they filled in for him as well. Now, what I'm curious about is because from what they've talked about is how they're kind of lining up. Fox Sports is kind of lining up the contracts to where their contract is over or ready to be renewed. Is gonna, what the hell is that behind me? Okay. So they have like where Dan Patrick is gonna retire is gonna be when it's time to renew theirs. But they've talked about how they don't like this like early morning shift and their way of life right now is kind of like perfect. So would they be able to tell like Dan Patrick or the Fox Sports Radio like, hey, we want that Dan Patrick money, but we don't want that time slot? Or I don't know, because we're getting closer and closer to it, dog. Now we're probably like a year and a half away. And they were talking about this when it was like 2 years away. So as we get closer, I'm like, are they having these talks behind the scenes or are they just kind of ignoring it and hope it goes away? I don't know. And if they've talked about it, let us know in the chat. You let me know, Luis. I don't know if I've missed it, but I haven't heard. I've heard them filling in for Dan Patrick. I just haven't heard much about the contract or what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I know they mentioned it because they've said it before. I guess it's just how you look at it because, like, I'm a morning guy, so for me, it's like fuck it, go in there early, knock it out. Sounds like basically they have like 1 or 2 hours after that to roll into their own podcast. And then basically the day's fucking over. Like you have the rest of the afternoon, whatever. I know they mentioned it that maybe it'd be worth not doing, but if it's the money and like the next big thing for them, their career, like bro, it's probably temporary. I don't know. Maybe that's the spot though, right?
The money
That's the
maker.
little chingon
Yeah.
spot, you know what I mean? So I think you'd have to just get accustomed to it, bro. I mean, if you really want it, and if they're rolling a dumb match dough or they're working that hard to say no, I'd be like, then why not me? I'd be like, well, why you been working at it to now you get it to now like, nah, because I don't like the schedule. I'm sure you can ask, but they're not gonna be like, nah, bro, like the leads go on this time, so you want it or not, we'll find somebody else. And I think they'll get used to it and just have to rearrange shit. But I know it sucks getting
Yeah,
up
because
early and
Doug, think about it though. I mean, as much as it sucks to get up early, think about how dope it would be for their day to be done after Patreon. Dog, that would be it. Yeah, you wake up earlier, but you're done by like noon, like for your day, and getting paid bajillions of dollars. Dog, come on now.
well, and you miss like traffic already, like you're home before like the evening rush, you know what I mean? Like
Doug, they can
I
go to
think
the
Covino's
gym
like
right
takes a
after
nap.
Patreon, freaking, and still be home by like 2. You know?
And you can still like nap and shit. I think Covino says he does that. Like I probably would at least here and there if you feel like you need to. But yeah, I mean, the early bird gets the worm. I'm more of a morning person anyway. I'm more of a like let's just get it done kind of guy anyway. So, but yeah, haven't heard any update. I guess I mean those are all assumptions too. It looks like it's lining up that way too, right?
Mhm.
We'll see how that goes when it does come time to talk money and stuff, and hopefully those guys get it for their own good. At least they'll have the option. And we got to root for them.
I have just to like switch gears a little bit. They were talking about this viral trend where chicks are walking in on their dude while he's like dropping a deuce. And they're like, so what we're gonna do is probably fix up, right here. We're thinking about putting, and they act like they're live or they're recording a video to show to somebody that they're gonna fix up the bathroom. Did you hear about that or no?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so there's a trend going around, and where they're doing this that I just explained, and they were talking about like, well, who leaves the door unlocked if you're taking a shit or whatever, right? Dog, this has been a fight with my wife since I met her. If I'm in the shower or taking a shit, she expects just to come in there and fucking grab something or have a conversation with me or whatever. And then she calls me weird for locking the door. She's like, and I'm like, you're the one that wants to come in here while I'm taking a shit. You're the weird one. Who the fuck? You think I'm weird because I'm gonna take a shower? I'm like, can I have 3 minutes of privacy while I shower real quick? Like I don't get it. To me, and she's just like very different. Where like it's like, why lock a door? I guess if you're not doing anything weird or something, I don't know. I'm like, because I am doing something weird. I'm taking a shit and it smells really bad. You can't smell it from just standing outside of it. Now you want to walk inside of it? I don't know, dog. To me, that's just something that has always been like just growing up my whole life. You go into the bathroom, you lock the door behind you. Whatever you do in there is irrelevant. I don't care if you're shaving. I don't care if you're taking a shit, if you're showering. It's habit. It's like when you leave your house, you lock the door behind you as you pull it shut, right? To me, it's like you go in the bathroom, you lock it. You don't even think about it. You get up from the toilet, you flush, right? You don't even think about it. But for some reason, dog, my wife will be like, go and like jiggle the door and I'm taking a shower and she's like she'll get pissed and then I'll come out and I'll be like, hey, like what was going on or whatever. And she's like, so you're going to pick up Kennedy from, I'm like, that's what you're mad at me about? That you had to update me on our schedule or whatever. Like that couldn't wait a minute and a half. So yeah, before I get in any more fights with my wife, I'll let you talk for a second.
I don't have a partner or anyone who lives with me currently, but I have had the pleasure of living with some gals before, and one wasn't so bad. When the door was closed, the door was closed. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like she would knock. Most of the time, I was doing work, like because I was on a call or something kind of thing. But growing up too, I guess let me take a step back. Was at our house, my mom was like, "Don't fucking lock doors," because like, and then she wasn't being weird. More like, if you fucking fall in the shower, if you have a fucking emergency, it was so like that's been always in my head. Like, I live alone. I've lived alone for a while, so like I shower with the doors open because my dog comes in and out. Not the fucking shower door, but like into the restroom and shit. And the only time I really close the door is like if it's a private call. Or if I'm gonna take a shit, and even then, like, hey, I need fucking 5 minutes of
If it's
my
a
own time.
private
Like,
call
I
because
don't
you don't
want
want your
you
dog to
fucking,
hear.
I don't want you, yeah, exactly. I don't want you in here like while I'm fucking pushing or making faces or just fucking have the dents on my legs from fucking scrolling. Like, hey, give me fucking my own little 10 minutes. Like, I
Exactly.
give you, I respect your space. I'm not gonna like fucking rush in there and like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? And so, and even if I needed privacy for whatever, like, I'd be like, hey, I need 10 minutes or whatever. I'm gonna fucking, I don't know, scratch my ass or whatever, fucking shave my huevos. Like, don't fucking come in here. You know what I mean? I just made it known, so it was like, because like, well, why do you want to lock the door? What are you doing there? I'm like, I'm fucking manscaping. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
don't
Do
want you
you really
fucking
want to
catching me
see
with
me
the fucking
with my
my
leg up
leg
here
up
behind my
and
eye, my ear?
fucking, fucking going down on the scrotum and shit. Like, you're gonna scare me and shit. But I'd be kind of
Dog,
pissed, bro,
I don't
because
know why. I just picture Doug, you like standing facing that way, and you're like all the way through your legs, right? Like shaving your butthole, and then like they walk, and you just looking at them upside down because they come to ask you something, dog, and your head's just looking at them through your ass. So stupid. Ah.
I would be pissed though, because that's like, I won't say private and intimate. You know what I mean? It's like when you wake up to, like, you don't want a fucking camera in your phone. Like, yeah, my fucking brush my teeth. I still look like shit or whatever. I still feel like shit. It's kind of the same thing. Like, you're pretty vulnerable. Shower, not so much. Then you're butt naked. Fuck it, whatever. You want to see me naked? Fuck it. But in the bowl, to me, it's a whole nother level. Like, hey, like, don't fucking, if you're gonna start those fucking games, like that to me is opening a can of worms. Like, you're gonna keep one up in each other where it's gonna get to the point where you're making an argument. So I get it. I think it's funny, but if it was the other way around, I don't know how funny it would be. But don't do shit that you don't want people doing to you. So I try to respect that because I don't want no one recording my ass, especially butt naked or taking a deuce.
I thought I heard the door right now because my daughter's not here, and I thought I heard somebody knocking, so I had to check the camera outside. I was like, "The hell?"
She heard you.
I know. No, you know what's funny about her? The other day, she was like, "Daddy," she's in the shower. She's like, "I need you to get these braids out of my hair." And so I walk in, dog, and she was like, "Dad," she's like, "You scared me." I go, "You just called me to come in here and get your braids out." So yeah, whatever.
Hey,
Whatever.
Reinhardt says we have German shepherds. There's no privacy in our house. Yeah, very much the same here with my fucking dog. And then he also says we also shower together and our toilet has a separate room. I have seen that. That's a little different, right? So it depends on the configuration of your restroom. I have
Yeah.
seen that where like basically there's vanities in the shower and like a standing shower, and then there's like private room in that. Like hotels have that. That's a little different. I can see that. Like, hey, I'm here doing what I gotta do. There's literally a door there separating the shit. I mean, some of that shit still seeps out, especially when there's some mad caca in there. But hey, you want to be there? That's on you.
Fournier says listening on delay 6 to 2 is the best shift for real. If they start at 6 in the morning and they're done by 2. Dog, I feel like that's and I think, dog, I would kill for that schedule, and I make like a 20th of what they make, right? So I'm like, dog, can you imagine like that schedule on top of the money? Dog, come on. I think that'd be so dope. And Andrew Fournier says, shower unlocked, pooping locked. To me, it's just you go in the bathroom, you lock it behind you. It's just habit. But I have been known to leave some deuces in the toilet on accident, so it's not always automatic, like like I say. But let me see what else we have. I have lock in the bathroom. Let me see. I have a couple more, but I want to give you a chance to see if there's anything you have, or else I'll keep going.
No, keep going.
Rich. So I honestly, I don't disagree with Rich on this, even though he sounds like a dickhead. Because he's like, he was talking about baseball or his, Ben playing baseball or whatever. And he was talking about every kid having a $300 bat. And Covino was like, Oh, so every kid in the hood has a $300 bat. Every little black kid has a $300 bat. He's like, you got to think about where you live, and you got to think about this and this and this. Yeah, I feel you, Covino, 100%. If you're playing on like, on the corner with your homies, and you're playing, rock ball or whatever, like t-ball but with the rock or whatever, you probably don't have a $300 bat. However, I think today kids parents, if they're doing these kind of like traveling leagues and whatever Rich's kid is doing, pony ball or whatever, I think most of the kids do, dog. And not only because everybody's rich, because there's always fundraisers that kids are doing to raise money for their things. Dog, my daughter does a million things, and they're always, this past Friday they had a fundraiser at a restaurant. So I'm like, a lot, like even like the dresses for her pageants, dog, are like an obscene amount of money, like more than most of the girls at my prom paid for their dresses. And she has like multiple ones because you need party wear, you need casual wear, you need, right? And so like, I think when people are that into it, as far as like Rich's kid, they do invest. Maybe the parents aren't like rich, and where they rich meaning have a lot of money, or Rich Davis, right? Where they just, oh, you need a brand new uniform, and dog, like my wife, she has a cheer gym. There's startup fees, there's like comp fees, there's uniform fees, all this shit. And parents, a lot of the parents don't have all the money in the world, but what they'll do, dog, is they'll get on payment plans. They'll say, hey, I'll pay this next month, I'll do this. They'll work out with my wife, hey, if you get the comp fee now, we'll pay it over time or whatever. So I feel like, as much as I would like to disagree with them and be like, no, not everybody has, a lot of people do, not because they're fortunate enough to just go and buy it, but they make it work somehow. And I think there's so many ways now where kids can raise money doing raffles and doing whatever, which you probably could have done back in the day, but I feel like it's a lot easier now. You bought tickets for one of my daughter's raffles, right? And you don't even live in the same state as me. So I feel like those opportunities are a lot easier nowadays to raise money and stuff. So I don't completely disagree with Rich. I think a lot of the kids that are in these leagues are taking things like this very seriously, and not even them, because they don't give a shit, but their parents. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's like at that point, it's next level. Like if it's like park shit or school shit, like it's public shit. Like you get what they have, or you buy your own shit. It's like when you're going like travel ball or pony league or even like dance. I mean, that's I think it's an auxiliary where like you have and if you want to compete, if you just want to show up and play or participate, you don't need that shit. But and then I think the kids would feel left out most of the time. Like, hey, why do those schools have this and I don't? Or you buy B team shit, use team, use stuff. But I do, like, my niece plays softball and she's on a pretty decent league, and like they fundraise all the time, and not even that, but they ask for donations too from companies and private people. And but they all have a fucking, they all get I'm like, you guys do this every year? Like they get the fucking a nice new baseball bag with the new team logo. You know what I mean? She's playing the same team a couple times, but even then they get a new one. If someone changes number kind of shit. But to Rich's point, I mean, they have all the swag, they have the wristbands and the fucking necklaces and this and that. Now that like, at least the girls have to wear like a visor, you know what I mean? Like a protective visor thing, face shield kind of thing for the ball. They all have like a Nike looking one type of shit. So I think it's expensive. I think it's almost like, hey, this is standard now, maybe like part of the uniform, at least to play. But I know that shit's expensive too.
And
it takes a village.
It does, really. And a lot of I think in Rich's area, Covino is right. In Rich's area, a lot of them, Topanga's kid played on the same team, right? Do you remember Kanye and Kim's kid played on the same team, right? I know Brendan Schaub, his kid played in the same league, not necessarily the same team, but Doug, all these people have more money than you and I, right? Or maybe I'll put myself in here. I don't know. You're probably balling, but what I'm saying is, Doug, is that yes, in that area, I agree with Covino. They're going and they're probably dropping ducats on just like the top of the line shit, right? For like Kanye's kid who didn't even really give a shit to go to practice or ever play in a game or whatever. I bet you he had the dopest shit and he had Yeezy cleats, I'm sure. However, even for more normal people like myself, who has a kid in different, sports and stuff, a lot of things, Doug, is the parents, I feel like, make it happen. And because my wife being in the kid business, I think that you see parents do what they have to, especially, Doug, if like a kid, say there's a kid that has like a lot of talent and maybe they don't have money. There's other people that will like pitch in and try to help with their tuition or whatever. But where there's a will, there's a way, right, Doc? I just made that up. So just, you can quote me on that. But I feel like it's a lot more of people raising money and doing what they can and payments and maybe not, like I said, paying it all up front. Thousands upon thousands of dollars, but people make it happen. I do agree with Rich on that. And then Fournier says, Rich's kids aren't doing your typical public school upbringing. I agree with that too. I don't think they are. I think they're way more blessed than a lot of kids. And then Reinhardt says, my daughter did competitive dance and we did require fundraisers. I feel like that's very common in the more normal hoods,
I think the boys right after they were talking about the next like conversation that led them into that was like credit card debt, right? Because even the ones that can't figuring a way out is you just swipe your fucking card shit. But whatever, man. Those are the things as a parent, I guess, you sign up, right? You got to give the kid what he needs, maybe not what he wants, but if you can go out of your means, and obviously credit cards are there for a reason, and you don't want to have the kid. I mean, I was that kid, right? Sharing shit growing up. It didn't change who I was. If anything, it made me a little value the things I had, but I always wished I had all the fucking trinkets and the new shit and whatever, right? And it didn't change me, but good for them, man.
Yeah.
It's part of the sport, it's part of the gig, and it only gets worse, I think, as you get older because shit gets just more expensive too.
Yeah, and right here, Leo says, get your kid to find a sponsor. And, that's another thing that my wife will do as like a courtesy to other parents. She'll get their kids and be like, hey, let's go do like a sponsor day, right? Where we'll go to local businesses and say, hey, they have like a little speech that they give, like, hey, my name's Bill, and I do cheer for this and this or whatever. It's usually not a bill, it's like a ballerina or whatever, it's like a chick, a little girl. But they do that where they'll go out and they'll go, like, I'll ask my wife, like, oh, what are you guys doing today? Oh, we're gonna go out and find sponsors, or so that is a thing where local businesses want it as like a tax write-off. Doug, actually, you know what? You want to know how creative parents get? I actually put this on the Carl page. My wife had one parent that actually reached out to like celebrities, right? And was like, went to like their official like Instagrams and stuff and was like, hey, my kid's doing cheer here in Yuma, Arizona. Had like a little sponsor letter or whatever. And one of the people that actually sponsored this one girl's year, like a couple years ago, was Shaq. And the only thing that Shaq required or requested was he's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll fund your season, but the only thing that I want you to do, and the only thing he requested was that they put his logo like on their gym bag or whatever, right? Whatever he was like sponsoring their like their practice wear or whatever. He was just like, cool, I'll sponsor your season, a few $1,000s, whatever it is for the year, and just throw my Shaq logo on there. And Doug, and you know what that did for that whole season? Oh, dang, Shaq, Doug. And I'm like, he just had it as probably like a little tax write-off. Didn't care. A few $1,000s for him is nothing. And he got to write it off as charity. And now everybody that freaking that season was like, how cool is freaking Shaq, right? Los Angeles Lakers, that's what he'll always be to me, sponsored this kid's season. So like people just got to get creative. Fournier says Shaq is an amazing human being. Yeah, Doug, when my wife was first telling me about that, I'm like, bullshit. Shaq, like Shaq, like not SHACK, like actual Shaq. I was like, but it really was Shaq, dog, and it's just so cool. So I don't know. Fournier also says I don't have kids and would love to help a kid in need, but so afraid of being taken advantage of. You know what? That's the thing, Andrew, is that you could, if you you found like a local, like not even Boys and Girls Club, but you found like, if you know there's something you're passionate about, right? Like if you're like, hey, I did, baseball as a kid, right? You could definitely hit up like a local team, and say like, hey, you know what? Let me know if there's any kids here that are struggling or whatever, and pay the team directly, right? Do they have any like startup fees? Do they have a uniform or whatever? And just have it go directly, and not even to get the pat on the back, because you would love to do that, right? Out of the kindness of your heart. So I think if you just know of a local team or know of a local whatever, I feel like you could reach out to that team directly and sponsor somebody. You might have a bunch of little gimmies come out after and be like, hey, sponsor me too. That's why you got to just do it kind of on the DL, right? You don't want like some little fat little Mexican kid, hey, can you sponsor my team too? You want to do it right.
I treat it like when someone asks to borrow money, like I give away what I know that I'm not gonna see back, right? Like, I'm like, hey, I'll give you $50, 100 max. And for those people that I kind of know, like me, your daughter's one. I got my buddy's kid, my niece, just people that are, and I'm not looking for the kudos. Like, hey, if I don't have any kids, and I don't expect to have any, like, but I knew what it was to be the kid without shit, and I'm like, hey, so whatever, or they do charity events. One time they're like, hey, if you can help, come fucking like run the hot dog stand and shit, and whatever money's made goes through like that team. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll kick burgers and dogs the whole day.
That's cool.
What was it? It was my way was not actually financially giving, but they needed someone to run the booth or whatever, and then whatever money was made was like which team you're affiliated with got the money. So I was able to help that way too. And even for myself, I'm like, I'm like, check, hey yo, can I just get a receipt? I need that receipt, bitch. I write that shit
right?
off too, you know what I mean? And if not, fuck you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, dude, I spend more money on dumber shit that I'm like, you know what, this is gonna go help change somebody's life. And there is that factor of you're gonna get fucked or they think you're being weird. But hey man, if you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, pay it forward. There's someone out there, and like Daniel says, just go straight to the organization.
Yeah,
And just
for sure.
cut the middleman out and, deal with them, and it should help close that gap to make sure you don't get screwed.
I'm glad we talked about that thing. I think that was really cool, and that was like Fournier says, that was a great idea. I do really think that you could, of local places and local, leagues and dance places or whatever, dog. And there's all, I guarantee you, unless you're living next door to Rich Davis, there's going to be kids that need help. So I think that's super cool. Doug, one thing I wanted to talk about, we have time for like one more topic, and there was something I wanted to talk about. They had one of the weakest conversations I've heard in the like almost 20 years that I've been listening. However, I will tell you, it did kind of inspire me. So you always got to be optimistic, right? And always find the little nugget of gold, right? When you're panning right there, like dog, when I was a kid, I thought I was gonna pan for gold, dog, like in the river and fucking find millions, dog. Because I watched, there's always shows on like Sunday morning or whatever. They had like some old white people missing teeth and shit, like panning for gold. I always thought that was gonna be me, dog. However, they were talking about like the 50 movies that people need to see, no matter how old they are or whatever, dog. And this conversation, I'll just say, went on way longer than it should have. They literally, dog, went by like one by one, and they were like, I don't remember even what the movies were that were on the list, but I remember Covino getting mad. He's like, this is a bunk ass list. He's like, there's no Rocky on here. There's no Back to the Future or whatever the hell the movies were that weren't on there. But Andrew Sims made a comment, and he was like, anything before 2000, D thinks is for old white people. But he's not 100% wrong, but he's not 100% right. But one thing that I did do over the weekend was my wife's favorite movie, like pretty much ever, is Pretty Woman. And I had never seen that movie in my life. I watched it this weekend and I actually liked it. So, you know what? So even though they had like the boringest conversation I've heard of 15 some odd years that I've been listening, that actually inspired me to check out this movie that my wife loves, and I actually enjoyed it. Has there been anything? Did anything stand out from that conversation, or did it inspire you to go and watch Pretty Woman?
Nah, I guess I seen like maybe 5 or 10 of the ones they named, and I was like, I think I'm kind of like an older soul just because my brothers were older, and I'm sure they may know those or all those or some of them, but I would just honestly, I've never really like fast forward, rewind, or like jump through their shit. But that shit was lame and it was annoying. Like I just felt like once they started, they knew it too. They were like, "What the fuck? There's 50 of these?" Like, damn, I thought it was 30. And like, I think Spot got out. That's what is it? Either cinematronic or what do they call it? A
Oh, a cinephile.
Yeah, and
A cinematronic,
that's
dog.
cool.
He's all,
He was, I mean, he was all fucking gung ho and all excited, and that's cool, you know what I mean? But that to me, I like make that behind the devil rope, bro, because like that was the one time I actually had to like tune out, or I was just like, fuck, get over
Yeah.
this shit. Because maybe none of the same thing, none of the movies hit home with me, and I was like, it was what 30 fucking 40 minutes of the show and shit that it was like, fuck, dude, like move on already, and it was bunk. It was a shitty list. If it was better, I would have admitted. There's certain things I agree that to disagree, but it was a shit list, and it was not
Doug,
fucking motivating.
I was just mad that my comment in the in-show chat didn't get any love when Spot said he was a cinephile, and Rich was like, "What cinephile? I've never heard that." And Covino, they kept talking about it, cinephile, whatever. And I put in the chat, dog. I was proud of this one. I thought a cinephile was somebody that bangs movies. I mean, dog, half the time I make comments in the chat just to make myself laugh, and then like because I'm working and shit, so I'm like doing something, I'll make a little comment, and then so dog, and I was like, oh man, I was like, they didn't even bring up my cinephile joke. I thought that shit was funny. But man, I'm trying to think of that we have like 5 more minutes. Is there anything that you want to get into? If not, I think I can rapid fire a couple.
Nah, go ahead. I was pretty lean on stuff.
All right, dog. Covino loves claymation. Dog, that is the oldest shit I've ever heard of in my whole life. I remember, dog, when I was in 6th grade, we had, this was like 99, right? So, dog, like video and stuff was still taken on like big old, camcorders or like handheld ones. But, dog, I remember we had all 3 6th grades doing a movie, a quote unquote movie. And, dog, I remember I was so embarrassed because our class did like a stop motion one, where it was like we had like a little monito and shit, and it was like record, stop, record, stop, record, stop, right? So then we played it, dog, and it was like, this is way back in the day. You couldn't add music to it or nothing, dog. So it was just like a stupid ass movie of like a monito going like, right? And like the other classrooms had like the like our teacher was old as hell. The other teachers were like younger, dog, and into shit. And they had like my friend Shorty, that I told you got deported. He was like doing like machine guns and shit. He's like da 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 da, and they had like sound effects and shit, dog. And ours was all like little fake Santa Claus being like, dog. And I'm like, so whenever Covino was saying about the claymation shit, dog, I was just like, dog, unless it was like Celebrity Deathmatch, that was just old as shit to me. Let me see. We have Covino's love for claymation. The salsa bar, dog. I don't know if we talked about that, but there was some hood ass lady that brought her own Tupperware to the Mexican restaurant and poured her salsa in the little to-go container, dog. But it was her own to-go container. I thought that was hood, but I was like, damn, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little jealous. Let me see. Living up to your name, dog. They were talking about like handsome Gabe has to stay handsome, dog. In 2nd grade, my teacher gave me the nickname Big D, and so dog, that's why I never got skinny. It was funny because when I was young, it was Big D, and then I get older, and then I was like, oh hell yeah, shout out Mr. Foy, dog, for giving me that nickname, because it was when I was young, it was because I was a big ass dude, and then you get older, and it becomes kind of fun, right? It's like, is that Big D? Yeah, I was like, hell yeah, it is. What's up? But I think that's about it, dog. Covino had a no daytime movie rule. I think that's bullshit. If you watch it at a theater, dog, because you come out of that movie, it's still daytime, dog. You have a whole day ahead of you, right? So I'm with the no daytime movie rule if it's at your house. But if you actually go to the theater, you can watch it anytime. Oh, and a little tip for people. They were talking about, I don't know if they were talking about it, about something about, no, it wasn't them. It was Louis C.K. in his new special. He talks about putting his dad in a nursing home. And I thought about something, dog. Say, because nursing homes are expensive, right? Not everybody, you know, in the hood can afford a nursing home. So this is my tip for the day, dog. If you have an older family member that you need to put in a nursing home, but you can't afford it, what you do, dog, is you do some crazy crime and you frame them. And then you let them go to prison, dog. And then now they're taking care of the rest of their life, dog. They have meals, they have showers, they have everything. So that's my tip of the day from the after show. But later, Luis, you want to go ahead and talk us out?
Yeah, man. Thanks again for having us. Thanks everyone for joining us live, future dudes. Appreciate you guys. We'll have hopefully an update for you guys on the studio next week. This is another reason why tier 2 is a thing. They had a behind the veil rope. Make sure we support the guys everywhere we can. I know there's some people who listen to Fox Sports Live. I know I see you in there, Daniel, jumping in the chat. Don't forget they got their after. What's their show they do on Fridays?
Overpromise?
Overpromise, sorry. They do overpromise, and then don't forget to keep sending Covino the rock on horns on this XM Turbo for Saturday parties. But yeah, man, thanks for having me, bro. Thanks to you guys out there for joining us.
Dog, I think you joined on episode 310, so we're like 37 episodes together, dog. That's a gang a week. So the after show, but later, we will see you guys in the next episode number 340. What would it be? 48? 347? I think it's 347. Anyway, the after show, but later. Find us on all social media at AfterShowBL. Hit us up. Text us freaking suggestions that you want us to talk about. 928-235-5285. If you didn't hear that, play this back and slow it down. 928-235-5285. AfterShowBL across all social media. Or just hit us up, personally if you know us. And if you don't, be like Green Optimist and hit up Luis Cortez Jr. But hey, dog, I'm Green Optimist. What's up? After show, but later, it's your boys D, Luis Cortez Jr. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Jordan.